Now, I just want you to imagine that if I was sitting there and I had said that stuff, all of these guys would just start going, "You're a communist! You're a communist! We're a communist!"
Come on, Sam.
Come on. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you high right now?
Sam Seder and crew of the Majority Report have a great time making fun of Patrick Bet-David and the rest of his crew and how silly they really are, no matter what they're talking about. So let's watch some clips of the Majority Report and the Patrick Bet-David show, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
There's been a lot of response to Elon Musk leaving the administration. We tried to find a brain trust on the right who could delve into this for us. But what we did find was the Patrick Bet-David podcast crew. Here they are talking about Elon Musk and what else are they?
The black eye, the failure of Doge, and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Fight till 3 o'clock in the morning, awake watching.
Okay, but you think that you get a black eye from a 4-year-old punching
He might
in the
have punched
face?
him in the face. Listen, again, we don't know the true story, but from looking at that behavior, I mean, it could be two things. He just got fired and he's listening to the boss keep talking.
How much credibility do you give to the fact that he's been running around with this quote-unquote daily medication box filled with ketamine, ecstasy, mushrooms, and Adderall?
Distraction. I mean, there's something really scary
You don't
here.
think that is
Okay, wait. We should make this clear here. So they're talking about Elon Musk. What's the part about the black eye?
The black eye. So he was in. He had like a.
Oh, the black eye.
Yeah,
I thought they were saying black eye. Okay, so they're asking why Elon Musk had a black eye. They're responding to the reports that Elon Musk is on ketamine and God knows what else, seemingly throughout the day. And they brought in their research expert. What's that kid's name?
It is Brandon Aceto, Valuetainment's head of research.
He's the head of research. Is it PBD? It seems to be off today.
No, he'll.
Oh, he's there?
in a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah.
Mushrooms and Adderall.
Distraction. I mean, there's something really scary.
This is the head of research talking now.
You don't think that there's any credibility?
I don't care about it because of how scary what I actually think happened here. I think that this is so predatory because I think the Doge thing was a show because all he did was cut contracts, cut a few jobs, didn't touch defense, didn't touch Medicare, didn't touch Social Security. But what he did do is extract all of the data from the Treasury, from all the government departments, and then makes a deal with Palantir.
How do you know that he did that?
Which part?
They extracted all the information.
Because they got the data to go through all of that.
How do you know that though?
I mean, I researched it and asked ChatGPT, and it said yeah, they collected vast amounts of data, and I asked Grok.
So I don't know. So you think he took the data from?
Pause it for a second.
That's the head of research.
The head of research.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. I mean, that's the thing is that you could also. I sort of feel like if you're head of research, you should also be able to say, well, I saw this reporting in these 5 different if you're head of research.
Maybe mention the Intercept instead of ChatGPT and Grok.
If you're head of research, I feel like Grok and ChatGPT, it's fine, but I just feel like if you're head of research,
why don't they just have
If you're the deputy head of research, I can understand if you're just doing chat and Grok. But I really do feel like you got to say reporting. But the problem is that, and this is what's fascinating about this thing, is that Chat, GPT, and Grok and all of them, they will take all of their answers from the Washington Post or the New York Times or maybe the Intercept. And the problem is for right-wing people is that they want to be able to say, well, the New York Times, of course, is liberal. The Washington Post is completely, the Intercept is a bunch of communists. But it gets laundered through Chat GPT. Now, it takes away views and it's going to destroy the reporting business model.
Yep.
But it also launders it through. And so Grok says it's the case.
We're in this funny period where they haven't learned that saying Grok or ChatGPT says it is like saying, I Googled it. What more do you want from me?
I Googled it and found it in 5 different places and just combined it together. And these are the different sources.
How do you know that he did that?
Which part?
They extracted all the information.
Because they got the data to go through all of that.
How do you know that though?
I mean, I researched it and asked ChatGPT, and it said yeah, they collected vast amounts of data, and I asked Grok.
So I don't know. So you think he took the data from from the citizens of the United States to use in his own benefit long term?
Well, the most important thing for when you're building an AI is to get good data, and the biggest, most vast amount of data is what he had access to. So that's a pretty well established thing, is that he was able to acquire all that data. It's still really unconceivable like how much he actually got, but it seems that he plugged that into XAI and then, merged XAI with X, and then partnered with Palantir, which, Palantir is, like, we'll talk about that later, but that's like a straight up like CIA contractor that harvests our data, and it's probably like the biggest data center in the world. So that's scary for a whole bunch of reasons. But
I agree with Sam here. This could be an amazing development in AI. I'm usually fully against it. I'm big artist rights over here. I'm big hand-drawn everything. But the fact that information has become so politicized that the truth has to be laundered through ChatGPT or Grok may actually be a good thing. Of course, eventually that's going to be used against the people when there's no other sources that people use besides these quote-unquote AI that are controlled by billionaires. So it's obviously going to take a turn for the worse. But until then, the only way to get information to people who, as soon as they see any source that's not Fox News or something like that, they completely throw it away. This quote unquote head of research may have to just hide his sources by just saying Grok or ChatGPT. It's not the solution we want, but it's the one we have.
But it seemed like the degree to which he had no interest in even touching the things that are truly wasteful makes me think that this whole thing was about the data from the first place.
Pause it for 1 second. Now, I just want you to imagine that if I was sitting there and I had said that stuff, all of these guys would just start going, "You're a communist! You're a communist! We're a communist!"
Come on, Sam.
Come on. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you high right now? Are you high? Are you high? That guy.
This is why you lose.
What's the other guy's name?
This is why you
What's
lose.
the guy with the veins?
Vinny and Adam Sauce.
Vinny would be like,
yeah.
"Are you high right now? What are you doing? You're absolutely out of your mind. Yeah, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen."
So that was an interesting little spiel there from their Valuetainment head of research now, Adam Sosnick, comes in with a counterpoint.
Truly wasteful makes me think that this whole thing was about the data from the first place.
I think there's a different. I understand what you're saying.
Is it ridiculous?
I think Elon Musk got his little fix with working on the government. Looked behind the curtain and said, I want none of this. Do you understand that in December of 2024, before the inauguration, Elon Musk was the richest man in the world. His net worth was $486 billion, almost $500 billion. 3 months later, he lost $150 billion. He was worth $330 billion. Now the stock has just come back up. I think there's a part of an element of his team around him that's like, bro, you're losing $1 billion a day.
That's not the scorecard he
doing
looks
this.
at.
You don't think that he looks at his net worth and gives a shit that he lost $150
Can you
billion?
pull up the Peter?
Pause it for a second. I mean, I'll tell you something. We've all been through this. Going from being able to buy several small countries to just being able to buy a couple of small countries freaks you out. What if you need to buy 4 countries and all you can afford is 2 countries?
Questioning of him, hey, there's stories about the drugs and all this other stuff, and his response about New York Times and, winner. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Go for it. Watch this.
The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Well, there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate?
Oh, nice.
Is it the same organization?
Yes, it is.
I got to check my Pulitzer.
I think it is. I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times, let's move on.
Okay. That behavior, do you think he's using it? Do you think it's on stuff?
I don't know.
Ketamine? Do you
Yeah.
think yeah, but guess what? Do you give a shit?
No.
I don't give a shit.
No, I care much more about what he might have.
I don't. That's your business. It's like Glenn Greenwald. He's doing what in his personal life? You want to release a video because you want to use that as a way for...
Pause it for a second. putting aside what we now know about what Patrick Bet-David's doing with his time watching what videos. We don't know what Elon Musk is doing in his personal life. We only know what he's doing when he's at the White House doing the job in front of the press. Like, you literally just watched a clip not of him in his home at his personal life, but rather in front of the press in the Oval Office.
In front of the most
next to the
important guy.
president, next to the most powerful man in the world, theoretically.
Yeah, that's important. We don't really care about Elon Musk or any of those people in regards to their personal lives. Who cares what they do in their personal lives in regards to his 37 baby moms or whatever? Do your thing. It's only when you start bribing politicians to get power over all of our data and government contracts that you already get. That's when people have a problem with what you're doing. Who cares if you use your kids as human shields? That's your kid. Who cares? The problem is when you start cutting a bunch of social services and Medicare and Social Security just for more tax cuts. That's when everybody starts to have a problem with you. And if you're a junkie on top of all that, then of course people are going to make fun of you. There are like 2,000 billionaires in the world. All of them are shitty, but they don't get personal attacks because they don't go out of their way to control the flow of information like buying Twitter. They do that other ways, like Jeff Bezos buying the Washington Post, or just bribing politicians without joining the administration and trying to be a prominent public figure. Do you think Elon Musk has done irreparable damage to his reputation by trying so hard to be an edgelord public figure? Let me know in the comment section. If you made it this far into the video, you might as well like and subscribe. Peace.